Greetings once again. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a few updates on the Street Machine group build hosted by Jason over at Blue Ox. And we also have a shop card shout out from Glenn. Model cars with Glenn. And he's Glenn. I know he is because he keeps telling me every time I watch his videos. That's right. I'm not the only one who got a shop card. I'm pretty sure there was a hell of a stack when he was putting them together to get them out in the mail. So I'm pretty sure you got one of these too. But, do you got any kind words on the back of yours? Thanks for the kind words, Glenn. Or, thanks for letting me write that on the back of here to say that you said kind words. Sorry if I put words in your mouth, but they were kind ones, at least. Yep, that's it. That's an official Model Cars with Glenn shop card. If you don't know his channel, gotta go check him out, man. You'll have a good time. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Yep. Anyway, thank you very much, Glenn. Much appreciated. Hi, Dawn, by the way. Great paintings. Keep it up. And we will see you on your next video. Meanwhile, let's get back to my video. Alright, so let's start with this little pile over here because we got a bunch of little updates to talk about. We got the black wash in here, we got the tail lights in, we got the backup lights done. I also painted some little chrome stripes on the tail lights here. It's a little hard to see them in certain lights, but they're not supposed to be one solid light, they're supposed to be three. And if it's the Catalina, there's only two. So that's one way you can tell the difference between a Catalina and a Bonneville is the number of tail lights on them. This is a pretty nice little piece. It's pretty much done so far. Just got to finish all the body, get it mounted before I can do anything with that part. This one here, my front bumper, we are closer. I can't say we're done with this because we still got some work to do. Me, myself, and I, and we ain't the same since we've been hanging around with us, but, you know, we'll get there. There's a gap right around here where the custom bumper meets the original bumper, and I did leave a nice gap underneath here to allow other dirty air to come in without the little venting. It's still air, it'll clear it up. But I did paint the headlights with white and gave them a quick scuff so that the chrome would shine through to kind of give them a little bit of definition there. Almost had it. Anyway, you get the idea. But from the side, you know, we gotta smooth this all in right here maybe, or leave it as is. It's kind of fitty-fitty. I got a little mistake right here on the point of this one I want to fix up a little bit. But for the most part, our grill is almost done. Looks like, yep, there we go. But yeah, we're pretty close here. I got to do the little Pontiac symbol in the middle yet, and debate how I'm going to go from here to the core support and then from there in, because there's like a step up. But that'll all have to happen closer once I get the body closer to that point, which you can probably tell. You think it's a blue, but it's actually a turquoise. The factory car would be Marina turquoise. And that's kind of what this is, to an extent. And as you can see, it's not like super glossy yet. This has not been buffed and polished. It has not got a clear coat. And I'm debating whether I need to put a second coat on it, because there's a couple of spots that look a little thin. And I wasn't sure if I needed to cut my hood yet before I put the carburetors and air cleaners on them. But yeah, I got the underhood matting in there. Got that taken care of. So yeah, the bodywork is still the last step in this whole process. And then we got our firewall. Instead of going flat black, I ended up going with the dark denim blue. A black motor. Added some stripes onto this little package deal here. And you can kind of almost see. Just to get rid of the pure silver. And then I painted my booster in a gold, the cover in a gold, and the two nuts that go in there for the brake lines, which are drilled out and ready. So this is pretty much good to go. I might paint this black and then scrape it before I put it in the car, because this would probably be a rubber seal up here somewhere, even though it would be more towards the front. You know, small little detail, but if and when I get to that, we'll deal with it when we get that far. Then over here we have our core support. Radiator's been painted with nickel. We got the black battery, even painted most of it up underneath. I got a little touch up to do from where it was sitting. I still got to repaint this in flat black because gloss black's just not working. But I also want to see what it looks like under the hood because I might change this entirely. But anyway, we got our our core support ready to go. There really ain't nothing else on here in the kit. I could add some horns and, you know, a water overflow bottle, etc. So, you know, there's more to be done when I get that far, if or when I get that far. But these are the carburetors that I'm looking at using. There's one on the floor now. Carpet monster, don't eat that. I need that. Yeah, I doubt you're gonna see those, but yeah, these are the big pro stock style. All right, I saved it from the carpet monster. Don't worry, he ain't gonna eat good tonight. That would have been a freaking steak for him. And the motor, yeah, we got quite a bit done on the motor. As you can clearly see, we got the plug wires in, valve covers on. Found a set of factory style headers. We got a yellow oil filter simply because I didn't paint it before I glued it on because I thought yellow would stand out. And I'm thinking, well, what is that? Well, that's probably Pennzoil or Shell. I don't know that they did that, but whatever. We do got the starter in there. We got holes drilled in our fuel pump so we can run our lines up. We got rid of the floatinator with the little bracket in here. We got flat black belts with gloss black pulleys. Got an alternator. Got a 7-blade fan on it. She's pretty well good to go. Now the only other issue is this is a manual transmission. Got all the shifter stuff on here. This car never had a stick. It was always an automatic. And I'm not going to give a shit about that. I'm not swapping it for an automatic, and I'm not putting a stick shift in the car. We're just going to leave that alone and ignore it. And we're also going to imagine we have disc brakes on the front because of the wonderful things they does. Yeah. And these here, these are my tailpipes. You can see this little piece still rolls around yet. They're not glued, they're not painted. But those will go in the tail of the chassis once I get the bumper on the body with it mocked up so I know how low they need to go. I'd hate to put them in there and have to bend them around and break them off and mess them up and have to redo them. So yeah, we're not doing that. We'll just wait. Then we have this beautiful little gem. Alright, let's talk about everything, shall we? We have the defogger. It's not a defroster, it's a defogger. Just basically blows air around to keep the inside of the window acclimated so it doesn't fog up. We got the little silver buttons in the seats. We got our custom made door handle window cranks with little knobs on them. We moved the ashtray forward because it was back here. Now it's up here by your knee where it belongs. We also made this beautiful armrest here with the door opening handle. We got both the main window crank and the vent window crank, and of course all the trimmings. We have our lucite top and bottom on our steering wheel. We got our wood grain in there with all the chrome. We got the dash, 100% decked out, detailed, ready to go. The only thing missing is the keys, so we can't start this thing, which I think the owner has them in his pocket or in the kitchen, or his wife stole them to keep him from driving the car. I don't know. We'll find the keys when we get that far. But we got the flat blue to match the carpet and the back dash. But the dash itself is actually body color blue. I don't have this glued in there yet. Yeah, you can see that down there. That is the body color blue in comparison to flat blue. You can tell there's seriously a difference, yeah. This is teal. But while that is out, as you can see in here, we got brake pedals and gas pedals that are finely chrome trimmed. Intricately, delicately. It's smeared. What they're there. And then here you can see we have some floor mats in the car, yeah. Now, you might think these are tape, but they are not. They do have very similar color to the blue painter's tape, but they are not. These were made out of paper. I drew all the lines, and I even have the right directions of the lines in here. Sprayed it with a transparent blue, and then dust coated it with just a little bit of some metallic blue. And as you can see, they stand out pretty well. You can almost make out that it's there. I did not write Pontiac in here, which I should have done, but I did not, so I'm not going to, because that's not a place I want to write at the moment. So anyway, our interior is 100%. It is good to go. Simply glue the dash in place and install. And I did have to hollow out the steering column holder part so that I can get the wheel to come up higher, because otherwise it was hitting on the seat like all models tend to think they can do. But as you can see now, I can get a toothpick in there without touching anything. That's a lot of room. You can get your legs and knees up in there finally. So yeah, the interior is good to go. I did paint the front of it and a little bit of the bottom because there is some space that shows through. Not a lot, but enough. And clearly on the tires over here, you can see I have my Goodyear radio lettering on there. Yep, so that makes it. It's a small addition to a street machine when tires make a difference. Black wall with nothing on them versus white lettered. These just look sexy rolling. They see me rolling. Yeah, those. Alright, so now we get to go back to the wonderful world of detail.
This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Yeah, lots of it. One thing you might notice right off the bat is we have a black frame now. I just did this today, so nobody's seen this, and there it is. It's a black frame. We got the blue underbody with the black frame. Didn't do anything more to the gas tank, didn't do anything more to the exhaust back here, nothing more to the whole axle. I did put a drive shaft in here, and comically enough, I was going through the parts looking for anything to make sure I had all the parts on the kit for the kit, and I couldn't find the drive shaft until I realized it was originally molded into the chassis and I had cut it out. So don't look for parts that don't exist. Find one from somewhere else. So yes, we have all of this done. I also did finally add in this little breather tube here that was in black. Nothing else back there. We got the emergency brake cable marked in. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking this is either brake line or something. Not sure why it goes up to here and disappears, but there it is. Up front here, I had to bend this down out of the way a little bit to get a little bit of clearance for the exhaust. All of this is exactly as it once was, and you can see from this line and this line I added these little extensions to the exhaust so that when my motor is in place it actually lines up. Let's give that a rough example. It might not be completely centered. This does look a little short. It needs to be a little longer, but I'm not going to mess with it. This one is dead on. Good luck changing the oil. And probably wouldn't be too hard to change the starter in this one. But everything is lined up nicely. It does sit in there pretty darn good where it all belongs. And under here we didn't do anything other than paint the top of the frame black so that it looks like it's a black frame. So yeah, outside of that, we get to have some fun in here when the time comes, because there's going to be some other stuff in here once we put this into a box so I can put stuff in it. So yeah, that would be the chassis. And then here we have the botte. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get close enough with this, but maybe. Oh yeah, not too bad. As you can see, if you look at the edge of the reflection up here, it's still not super smooth. Once again, much like the hood, it has not been clear coated or any of that kind of nature yet. I'm still thinking I need to do the chrome on the bottom here and on the back, get that out of the way. So I'm not too psycho about it at the moment. But as you can see as I'm rolling through, it's not a high gloss, it's kind of speckly. But the paint did turn out good. It's pretty decent. I didn't see any blemish other than, ha, found ya. You see the little white dot right there? Yeah, that one. That was in the primer as well, and I couldn't get it out, and I thought, maybe the paint will cover it. Nope, there it is. So I may have to see if I could do something about that. But yeah, for the most part, everything is here. It's going to look pretty sharp with all the chrome trimmings on it. So next step, once I get done fiddling with all this tiny stuff, and seems I can actually touch this at the moment, I'm probably going to mock it up a few times before I muck it up. Because, worst case scenario, this is one piece. I got another one in the box I can take out and repaint and do that while this one's getting stripped or whatever. And one of those other cool little interesting facts, you might actually notice it, but when I did the black panel liner to start with, I actually see that. I don't know if you can, but I most certainly can. Oh yeah, you can. You can see the black panel liner in there. Now if I switch it around to this side, you can't see it. There's no panel liner. Alright. So now you know. It's a little easier to get her in primer, get her ready for paint, do your little panel liner, clean up any scuffs you got to make if you went off the line or whatever you may have done, because that tends to happen. As long as you got black in the bottom of the valleys, smoothed it all out, you should be able to paint your color over top of it and get just enough of the black to show through when you're done. So that might save a few headaches. Not a lot, but maybe a few. So anyway, I'm going to mock all of that stuff up, and I'll be right back with a couple of pictures, and we'll end the video from there. So until next time, thank you for stopping by, and we shall see you again soon. Thank you, Glenn, for the shop card. Bye!
Holy shit.
Holy fucking shit, it's a dinosaur.
They would like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in.
You're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping helping of their hospitality.
Holy fucking shit, it's a dinosaur.
Y'all come back now. Here.
Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.